Let's talk about the nervous system. We'll start with a general overview of the nervous system. The nervous system works in a fairly straightforward, simple fashion. There is input, there is integration, and there is output. Now we say that's sensory input, and we think of sensory input as sight, sound, touch, things like that. But there's also sensory input that is the amount of oxygen or carbon dioxide or glucose you may have in your body. It could be the blood pressure that you have. It could be temperature. So it can be a host of different things that are going in. They're being received. Stimuli are being received. And there's some integrating mechanism. And often, especially with the more complex stimuli, the brain is that integrator. Okay? And then the brain stimulates some sort of output. Now here we use the word motor output, which refers to muscles, which is a classic stimulus and response. But motor output can be a lot of things. I mean, output could be a lot of things. It doesn't have to be motor is what I mean by that. So for instance, you could be sitting in class and the student next to you pulls out their checkbook and you look at it with your eyes and you see a checkbook. And that stimulates that, oh my God, I forgot to pay that bill. So the output here is a thought. I forgot to pay my rent. I better do that as soon as I get home. Something like that, right? So this is, sensory input, as long as we use that word loosely, and motor output, as long as we use that phrase loosely as well. So the brain does a lot of integrating, but of course we also know that the spinal cord does some integrating too, especially in reflexes. So if you put your hand on a hot surface, you don't want to wait for your brain to think about whether they should pull that off or not. You're going to have more damage to your hand. So it turns out the spinal cord responds to that. So in response to painful stimuli like a hot surface, the spinal cord in this case is the integrator. It sends a message up to the brain saying, hey, look, this is what we're doing here. But the integrator in that case is the spinal cord. So our reflexes have an integrator of the spinal cord. Most of our other functions, the integrating center is the brain.